You're listening to D6pack Podcast Meet the Crew.
Hello, I'm David Westfall, and you're listening to the D6pack. This isn't going to be like one of our normal episodes. This is going to be something released with our premiere episode to sort of give you a background on the three of us. So if you think that's something you just sort of want to figure out as you go through the episodes, that's fine. You could probably go ahead and skip this episode and go straight to episode 1. However, we wanted to make sure that we had some way of giving you information about us, stuff that we might talk about from episode to episode that might be important in understanding what we're talking about. So this is to give you that background. And I just wanted to start that off by giving you some background on what this podcast is. The three of us are friends. We've known each other a long time. We grew up in northern Michigan, and Todd and I have always sort of had a big interest in gaming, board gaming specifically, and we've always talked about starting a podcast, and recently we've kind of drug Travis into the hobby with us as well. And he's kind of he's more tech savvy than the two of us, I'd say. And we've convinced him to join us as our editor and part of the podcast. I also wanted to say that this podcast, while we wanted to start it originally with board games, we've decided that we want to talk about more than just that. So if that's the type of podcast you're looking for, I still think you'll enjoy this, so hopefully you'll keep listening. However, we are going to talk about more than just board games. We're going to review a different beer in every episode. We're going to talk about tech on occasion. We'll talk about movies, TV shows, video games, anything else that kind of relates to the board gaming hobby or just geek culture in general. But if you guys have any questions or comments for us, you can contact us via our email at d6packpodcast@gmail.com. That's the letter D and the number 6. We also have social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, D6pack Podcast. And we have a Board Game Geek account, or guild, number 2746. So please check us out on any of those pages or all of them and leave us your questions or comments. So moving on, I'm going to start giving you guys an introduction to what I do on a daily basis now. I live in Michigan. I am a current medical student, and I live with my fiance, Adrian. And she is just as into board games as I am. I'm lucky in that regard, and she's maybe even more into it than I am. She's the one that buys all of our board games, so again, I say that I'm lucky in that regard. I'm also an active participant in a local board game group. We call ourselves the Oakland County Gamers. We play at a VFW hall in Wixom, Michigan, and we meet every second Saturday there. But we also have other events that go on throughout the month. We do an event at the Farmington Hills Library and one at a local board game store on a weekday. That's kind of my involvement in board games. I get to play a lot of different stuff and teach different games, so I'm always active in the board gaming community, and so I like a lot of different stuff, but it's hard to nail down one specific genre of board games that I like, but there's a wide range of stuff out there, so I think you guys will come to see better what type of games I like as this podcast goes on. As far as beer, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an overview because I think that I'm probably a bigger beer connoisseur than Todd or Travis are. I will drink just about anything. I'm not a big fan of IPAs. I've just sort of recently gotten into some of those. and my palate is expanding still, but I especially like the darker beers, porters, stouts, things with some flavor to them are the type of beers that I tend to lean towards. I also like anything that's sci-fi related or fantasy related. I watch a lot of TV shows that involve space or time travel or magic of some sort, so anything that has to do with that, I probably have some information about it, and I hope that you guys will come to see that I talk about those things on a regular basis throughout this podcast. Some of the stuff that you might lean more towards the other guys' opinions is tech and video games. I'm not saying that I am illiterate in those things, but they definitely tend to be more video game savvy than I am. I tend to be bad at first-person shooters and whatever other sorts of video games. I do like some of the computer games that are more like God-type games, so I might talk about some of those from time to time, but I think Todd and Travis will give you a better overview of different video games than I will. And tech, Travis knows a lot of different tech things that I'm not even aware of, so hopefully he'll be able to teach Todd and I some things as we go along, and I really look forward to hearing your guys' questions, comments, and learning what this podcast experience is all about. So thanks for listening, and I'll let the other guys take it away.
All right, hello D6pack fans, or should I say hopefully soon to be fans if you're not already. My name's Travis. I am another one of the creators and voices behind the D6pack podcast. Just a little bit about me. I work as a middle school teacher in the greater Washington, D.C. area. Love my job, love the opportunities that it allows me to really just have fun on a daily basis. It's definitely a rewarding career in that aspect. As far as the podcast goes, as Dave mentioned, it did start out with strictly board gaming in mind, but we all have passions, Todd, David, and I, and we thought that it would be a great idea if we could bring our own taste, our own point of view to the podcast. So it's definitely grown into something that includes beer reviews, something that includes tech, or a piece that we call What's Crackin', basically what's up, what do we want to talk about. So we try to bring variety to every episode for our listeners out there. I've been playing board games for a long time, Chutes and Ladders way back then, but the games that involve deeper strategy are fairly new to me. It's not something that I've been playing a lot of, but I definitely have enjoyed a lot of what I've played. I've been frustrated by it, but I'm looking forward to continuing my gaming journey and expanding my palette and, if you will, for games. I definitely prefer dexterity-type board games and games that promote witty banter and table talk, party games. I just like having that fun, lighthearted environment. But like I said before, I do enjoy getting into those games where you have to take a little more time to think. So I'm trying to dive deeper into those. Aside from definitely being the amateur board gamer in the group, I do have a deep passion for technology and automotive news, so definitely look for me to bring that to our listeners, you guys, in future episodes. And I'm also not as versed in beers. I haven't tried a lot. And I think it's because the ones that I've tried, maybe they're not the right ones, and I just didn't enjoy them. I definitely prefer ciders, so I can bring those to future episodes. But, I'm willing to give everything a chance, and we'll share my honest opinion with you guys as the episodes progress. And on a final note, I want to thank you for welcoming us into your living room, car, or wherever you're listening from. We're definitely happy to have you along for the journey. And as always, game on.
Hello, listeners of the D6pack podcast. I am Todd, your third and final co-host / creator of the show. This project is something I'm very excited about. I'm excited to sit down once a month, as of right now, with two of my best friends and just talk about the things that we're interested in. It's very awesome to me. I'm going to start giving you some kind of information about myself. As David said before, the three of us grew up together. We graduated high school together. And another person we graduated high school with is my wife, Jessica. Yes, I am the married man of the bunch. Me and Jessica have been married for 5 years now. We have 2 beautiful boys, and we have a 3rd child on the way. So, yes, I am the husband and the father of the group. Right now, I am studying online for a degree in marketing, while I work during the day as a driver for FedEx. My background in gaming started when I was a kid. I always loved playing board games, Risk, Clue, Phase 10 with my family and friends whenever I could. Being an only child, I always wanted people around to play games with. That was something, you had to do personally with people. So that was always something I loved to do. As I got older, that love of gaming evolved to video games and Call of Duty, Madden, things like that. While I was in college, I kind of found hobby gaming again. I used to play Magic the Gathering, and at the local shop where I used to play, they started getting more and more board games in and hobby games, and I would just see these things on the walls and look at the boxes, read them like, this is nothing like Clue or Monopoly, So I really got into hobby gaming recently in the past few years. Me and David kind of got into it at the same time, so we've been finding stuff together and, did you see this? And, oh my God, have you played this yet? So that's been fun finding that with them. And Travis has been there along the way, from time to time when we see him, since he lives out of state now. We the good games we find, we bring to him, and he'll say something bad about it just because he loses or whatnot. So, but he likes them, and he's been great. He's been a great sport. So my kind of role for the show in total, I'm kind of going to be the jack of all trades type of guy. I know a little bit about everything. Like I said, me and David are both into hobby gaming. I still play video games quite a bit and are up to date in that. With me and Travis are kind of filling that roles. I read things about tech and pop culture. I watch all the hit shows, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. So me and Dave are kind of in that same boat, and so I'm kind of filling in the gaps everywhere. That's kind of my main role for the show. And with that, with the gaming and all that, I'm also coming in with the perspective of the family man, being married and having kids, and very tight schedules and all this stuff, and plan ahead if you really want to do anything. So the stuff I kind of get into and that I can spend my time on needs to be the best stuff, and so I don't have time to just kind of waste on bad stuff. So I really do, follow the gaming news and do reviews, and so hopefully I can bring all the information I find with that into the podcast as well. When it comes to the beer drinking, I'm kind of right in the middle. Definitely don't drink as much as Dave, but I do drink a little more than Travis. I don't drink. We don't drink all the time, but just the things we drink. David drinks the widest amount palate-wise and different things and trying this. So he's kind of the one that brings us the ideas and, we need to try this out. We need to try this out. And me and Travis are kind of the ones that during the podcast are really experiencing the beers for the first time. So you're really getting our natural reaction and when it comes to our beer reviews and everything like that. And, with the beer reviews and the gaming reviews, we are not professional beer reviewers, game reviewers. So this is something with time that all of us are going to get better at and evolve with and learn different tricks of the trade and better things. And if any of you out there, have any suggestions or have any ideas to help, please, we welcome all sorts of, communication, criticism, good or bad, anything you want, talk to us. We have the Facebook page, the Board Game Geek Guild. Reach out to us. We're going to be on there. We're just starting out. So as of right now, we have no fan base. So we're hoping to build that a little bit. Little by little is perfect with us. We're not looking to explode onto the scene or anything. We're just a couple of best friends getting together, talking about the things we like, the main goal is to be entertaining as all get out. So hopefully we can do that. And you guys, laugh with us, enjoy yourself with us, have a beer with us. That's all we're looking for. So yeah, anything, talk to us. We welcome it with open arms. This is something I'm super excited about. I know we are all super excited for this journey ahead. We are happy to have you with us. So always remember, cheers to you and game on.